where we're placing these walls depends on where we're the spaces that we want to create. So the spaces we want to create, we kind of want to understand. I mean, there's some minimums and some ideal layouts. So we haven't really gone over them in this class. We've gone over them in other ones, depending on what program you're in. But one way of doing it too is kind of using the resource manager to lay out the objects that are going to go in those spaces. So we're going to need to lay out our bathrooms, and we're going to need to lay out our kitchens, and we're going to, and also in the furniture plan, you're going to need to include the furniture. So where we find these things, or some of these things, is in the resource manager. So the resource manager is very resourceful. You can see that it has a whole bunch of folders. I know, what a concept. It has a whole bunch of resources. So if your resource manager isn't visible, you go up to your window palettes, and I can see here my resource manager is checked off and visible. If it's not, I can just select it and it will be visible. Now, in this and on these computers, these don't have access to all of them, but I can show you some. So these resources, for instance, are uploaded onto this computer. I can see that they're selectable. All these, there's the little Vectorworks icon. But if I go down to objects, architecture. So this is where, and you can manipulate your manager however you see fit. You can make it big because it pops away.
Carmen,
yeah.
How many, I'm just curious, like you said in the furniture plan, how many like sheets of paper are we going to be printing? We're going to have a furniture plan.
Yeah.
We're going to have one of the demo and one of the new construction.
Right.
And then what else?
So it depends how you lay it out.
Because like it'd be smart to just like keep adding new layers, right? So
totally.
Yeah.
And because we haven't gone into classes yet, a way of separating them is layers too. So you could even do a furniture plan.
So that's it though, like furniture plan, and then.
But really, you can print off your furniture plan on your new construction, right? We're not getting into construction documentation. There's not going to be a lot of other information. It's still schematic, right? It's still a design that you're proposing, right? So really, you could fit that information on 2 sheets. Okay. So you can see I've selected this objects architecture. These icons now have a little cloud beside them because they aren't downloaded into my library. They are available, but I haven't downloaded them. I can't download them on here, but for you guys to do on your educational versions, you can go help, download content, and this opens up this Vectorworks package manager. In this Vectorworks package manager, you can see these are all the libraries available. Oh, I think that's new. So they can get large. I mean, like this is 1 gig already. So you might want to be conscious of what ones you will download. You'll definitely want to use, these will be helpful. The ones you can stay away from are the spotlight ones. That's electrical lighting. So you might want to use some of these. The spotlight libraries, we don't need to get into. Eventually, we will get into the RenderWorks. So you can install them all. You can install the submenus and install the separate libraries individually if you want to. And also, so that's one way of doing it. It can take a lot of time. So again, that was under help, download content. Also in your resource manager, if you want to just download individual objects, you can just double click on them and that will download those individual objects. Okay. So we're gonna need to place some things using the libraries manager. Again, I don't have access to a lot here. Furniture and fixtures, I can do a bath shower. And these are editable. You can change the width and depth. There is you can search in your resource manager. So a toilet is actually a water closet and can be shortened as WC. So I can just search there and this shows me, see, yeah. These ones are all in my library. These little icons with the clouds aren't. So I can use these ones if I want to. And just by clicking on that places them. They like to insert themselves in walls. And now, so those are the fixtures. There's furniture. You can play around with those. Cabinets. We can use these base cabinets here and wall cabinets, or you can use just rectangles. If I wanted to do a double line polygon, I can do a 2-foot separation and create polygons. And I can just place this along this wall like that. Okay, so this is one way, especially rectangles or the double line polygon, to allocate that space. I could even do an island if I wanted to using a rectangle. So my width, I'll do 6 feet and by 3 feet. And then I could move that to create my, my aisles. So I want it to go over -3'6" and go up 3'6". That's, yeah, a small space. But I can do that with just using those rectangles, or I can and that's a great way of allocating the space, but then I could go in and install my base cabinets. We're not gonna play with them that much right now. You can edit them and change the width and all that. Right now we're just concerned about the 2D view of them. They are 3D objects as well, and they have all those settings to make those changes. And eventually we'll get to that. Any questions?